our topic of discussion tonight is going to be file sharing and illegal downloading. And so we kind of made a fun game to play just to open up the floor to it, see how much you guys might know about file sharing. So this game is called Fact or False, so just go ahead and shout it out or raise your hand if you think you know the answer. So the RIAA finds it illegal to rip a CD to your PC to be put on an iPod, MP3, or burned as a copied CD.
True.
Fact.
Fact.
Fact? Okay, it's false. They actually promote, they want you to enjoy the music that you buy. If you own the CD, go ahead and burn it to whatever you want. But they kind of keep it within the boundaries of using it for personal use only instead of buying the CD and burning 10 copies for your friends. So the next one is the RIAA sees filtering as an effective system to catch an illegal downloader. And what that is basically filtering an IP address who is registering to an online file sharing network and just kind of monitoring how much they download a day, or that's how they kind of catch the people doing what they do. What do you think, that's true or false?
Fact.
That is a fact. Good job. Then the next one is the RIAA can arbitrarily set the value per song when prosecuting an illegal download. So that's saying that they can say, yeah, that's true. That's crazy, right? And then the last one is the RIAA is not allowed to shut off an illegal downloader's internet connection after being fairly warned to stop.
False.
You're right, that's false. They can absolutely shut off your internet and prevent you from signing up to any other internet connection. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and give you guys a couple of definitions of some terms that you might hear throughout the speech.
Alright, so a few terms you may hear throughout this presentation are copyright, which is the exclusive right to make copies, license, and otherwise exploit a literary, musical, or artistic work, whether printed, audio, video, etc. Piracy, which is any form of unauthorized duplication or distribution via downloading, file sharing, and CD burning. P2P, which is a type of transient internet network that allows a group of computer users with the same networking program to connect with each other and directly access files from one another's hard drives. And then there's also RIAA, which is the Recording Industry Association of America, and MPAA, which is the Motion Picture Association of America.
Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and let you guys know some statistics. That's just basically some numbers to throw out about file sharing and illegal downloading.
Okay. So according to the Recording Industry Association of America's website, which is www.riaa.com, there's some pretty astonishing statistics involving the downloading effect. First of which would be the decade following the emergence of Napster, which was around 1999. Music sales within the United States actually fell approximately 47%. It went from 14.6 billion down to 6.6 billion. Secondly is that in between 2004 and 2009, approximately 30 billion songs were illegally downloaded. Now in 2009 alone, it's estimated that only 37% of what actually was downloaded was actually paid for. Last but not least is with regards to the global music piracy, on a regular basis, they're losing approximately 12.4 billion per year, which essentially is resulting in up to 71,000 jobs lost as well.
Okay, and now Jesse is going to give us his stance and all the information that he found on why illegal downloading and file sharing should become legal and is okay for people to do.
So I believe it's difficult for anyone who illegally shares files to see it as actually hurting the artist. I think it hurts the profitability of an artist to the recording industry. But according to the Toronto Star, who had interviewed Eddie Schwartz, who is the president of the Songwriters Association of Canada, he sees people that share files more of fans versus the common terminology of being a pirate. So many people have been introduced to new music by taking that opportunity to download the one song here or there. I have downloaded music in the past. I've downloaded music in the past, typically something that I would have normally skipped over, not have even worried about the song, the album, you know, but as I began to download music, I was able to identify other artists that were able to influence me. And I know that not only myself, but you know, file sharing on the occasional basis has allowed many others to open their minds and taste the music, which essentially enabled them to become fans of certain artists, certain bands. For example, if I identified a certain song that I like it's a good possibility I may have went out and downloaded the album. Once I was able to find that I was a fan of this particular album, this particular band, it made me more susceptible to go out and buy the next album, to get the better quality, to get more of the CD extras. When you see such artists like Lily Allen, who uploaded her own music on the internet to get the opportunity to record a deal, you see her becoming successful, it makes it hard to frown on somebody to go back and it makes it hard to frown on somebody who's going to download her music because that's essentially what she wanted. And the fact is, you see a lot of artists doing that today just to essentially get recognized. You see other bands, such as Wilco, who released Yankee Foxtrot Hotel, who simply released it as a download online first and then as a for sale album because their record label didn't want to move forward with them releasing the album commercially. They felt it was going to be a commercial bomb, and not make any money. So this is a prime example that the record labels are behind most of the anti-file sharing arguments. Most of the popular artists we see today have been impacted in one way or another with the illegal file sharing, most of which have had sold out concerts, even #1 singles as well. It seems as though society has begun to condone the ability to download media, as well as understanding that the activity essentially is here to stay. It seems as though throughout the technological advances, sharing files has become easier, and common systems and programs such as Windows Cloud seem to be made for the simple fact of being able to integrate this particular function. One would think record companies have had at least some hand in the process of developing software to prohibit or even attempt to eliminate the practice altogether. Instead, we get a taste of legal forms of sharing. Let's take, for instance, iTunes. iTunes, a company which allows you to purchase songs, albums, and movies. However, did you know you also have the ability to have some level of restricted access? What this means is that although you're spending your hard-earned money to go and buy the song, buy the movie, you can actually turn around and share that particular media on up to as many as 5 different Apple devices. The program, to an extent, condones the practice of sharing music. Who's to say you're only sharing music with those within your household? Not to mention, the program allows you to record media just downloaded on, it'll allow you to record media just downloaded onto a CD. And after the CD is actually made, it's hard to determine if it's going to be strictly for personal use. If a company such as Apple has integrated iTunes to allow some sort of sharing, it gives the impression that other programs, although the media isn't being purchased, that it makes it okay to proceed with the downloads. Now, while we're on the topic of recordable media, one can even argue that such items such as a CDR or DVD-R, even recordable CDs, actually promote making CDs and DVDs, whether they be for personal use or not. I'm sure with the abundance of technology going on today, a method can be derived which would eliminate such items from existing in the general public, or at least limit the amount of downloads you can actually do, or limit the amount of CDs you can actually make. Seemingly, everyone has at least one burned CD in their catalog, which means it's easier for everybody to get a hold of such particular items. Even in Canada, they condone the act of peer-to-peer sharing, an activity that's actually that they actually move forward on taxing the medium itself, to the medium used to produce the CDs and DVDs, to be able to compensate the artist. Even going further, and discussing items such as television, what actually prevents someone from using a VCR to record the latest Spurs game to watch it later on with their friends? This can be taken as some form of illegally obtaining the media for your own use. I know as early as a year ago, Time Warner allowed those who had DVR access to save their own recordings to a VHS cassette, which, although you pay for the service, does that really mean that the producers and the actors were actually compensated for you actually using that particular service for your own use? Over the past year, the option has been eliminated, but to know the option once existed gives the thought that some companies actually allow the practice. Now, just as the RIAA and MPAA strive to shut down sites participating in illegal sharing, others continue to pop up. In the beginning, there was Napster, then there was Kazaa, iMesh, Winamix, LimeWire. It even goes as far as Pirate Bay, which gives you the access to download not only full movies but full-length albums as well. Aside from these options, there are the loopholes that are still out there as well, whether it be a networking program such as PopoPlug, which allows you to have access to some of your friends' files, whether it be using Netflix and sharing that particular password with your friend, with your coworker, and even as far as Pandora, which allows you to stream music, which is legal in this particular case, but limits you to the amount of hours you can actually use. What's to prevent somebody who has multiple computers, multiple email addresses from actually creating multiple profiles to be able to download this or listen to as much music as they like? What I'd like to do now is show you a video from acclaimed director Michael Moore, who gives his take on the actual file downloading section.